Introduction to Lifestyle Medicine and Nutritional Science. I got board certified in lifestyle medicine in 2018. These days, lots of diseases are lifestyle related. For example, hypertension, diabetes, coronary artery disease, obesity, osteoarthritis, and many more. Lifestyle medicine is an evidence-based approach to preventing, treating, and even reversing these chronic diseases by making lifestyle changes. There are 6 pillars of lifestyle medicine: nutrition, physical activity, stress management, avoidance of substance abuse, adequate sleep, and social connections. I will talk about nutrition today. There are 3 macronutrients. Macronutrients give energy. 1 gram of carbohydrate will give 4 calories. 1 gram of protein will give 4 calories. 1 gram of fat, 9 calories. Water is also a macronutrient. Micronutrients: vitamins, minerals, phytochemicals, and antioxidants. When I was in medical school, I did not learn about phytochemicals. Examples of phytochemicals are curcumin in turmeric, lycopene in tomatoes, and resveratrol in the skin of red grapes. So far, more than 10,000 phytochemicals have been identified. And fibers. Fibers feed our gut microbiota. To get these nutrients, we eat food. And I have classified food in 3 groups. First group is processed food. The ultimate processed food we eat is sugar and processed grains. I will draw a grain to make you understand the difference between a whole grain and a processed grain. The center portion is endosperm, which is mainly starch. The outer covering is bran, which has vitamins, minerals, phytochemicals, and fibers. Germ has vitamins, minerals, phytochemicals, and unsaturated fat. If I put this grain in the soil, roots will come out, and then leaves. After that, the plant will make its own food with the mechanism of photosynthesis. Until photosynthesis starts, this plant will get energy from endosperm. So one grain has everything it needs to make one plant, and that is whole grain. We process it. It is called processed grain, white grain, or polished grain. And what we keep? Just the center portion. Endosperm, which is mainly starch. We remove bran, we remove germ. Examples of processed grains in our diet: white rice and its products. White rice should be substituted with brown rice. When we grind processed wheat fine, we get all-purpose flour. All-purpose flour in American diet: white bread, pastas, noodles, bagels, cookies, cake, biscuits, muffins, pita bread, breakfast cereals, pastry, croissant, donuts, crackers, and more. All-purpose flour should be substituted with whole wheat flour. When we grind processed wheat coarse, we get farina. Cream of wheat is a processed wheat product. Farina should be substituted with whole grain farina. Masa mix is a processed corn flour. Corn tortilla, muffin mix, cornbread, and grits are examples of processed corn products. Glucose is a monosaccharide, and starch is a series of glucose molecules, is a polysaccharide. You remember the starch we get from the endosperm of the processed grain? Starch is quickly digested to glucose in the body, and glycemic index of both is high. All syrups are quickly digested to monosaccharides too. This is the normal blood sugar level. This is the upper limit of normal and this is the lower limit of normal. This is my blood sugar is over time, it is coming down. At this point, I am little hungry. I want to eat something. I have options to choose from. If I choose 100 calories from sugary drink like soda, my blood sugar will quickly go up. It is higher than the normal, so insulin will spike and it will be overcorrected and I will be hungry in less than an hour. Instead, if I choose 100 calories from white bread, blood sugar will go up relatively fast too, insulin spike and overcorrection, and I will be hungry in less than a couple of hours. Instead, if I choose 100 calories from beans, it takes longer for beans to get digested. Sugar is released slowly, no sugar spike, no insulin spike, no overcorrection, and I will stay full for longer. In all three options, calorie load is the same, 100, but glycemic index is different. It very much matters which 100 calories I choose from. We do not want sugar response 1. We do not want sugar response 2. We want sugar response 3. We get that from unprocessed plant foods. Animal products. Meat, poultry, eggs, seafood, dairy, milk, cheese, yogurt. In standard American diet, animal products are consumed with each meal because it is considered a good quality protein. Animal products do contain all amino acids and they are complete protein. And because it's a complete protein, IGF-1 level goes up. IGF-1 is insulin-like growth factor 1. It is called insulin-like because it works on insulin receptors. IGF and insulin are both pro-growth hormones. Both promote the growth of fat cells, cancer cells, and aging. When there is cell proliferation, let it be fat cells or cancer cells, it needs its own blood supply. So new blood vessels have to form. That process is called angiogenesis. IGF-1 and insulin both promote angiogenesis. Examples of food that spike insulin and IGF-1 both. Bagel, insulin, cream cheese, IGF-1. White bread, insulin, eggs, IGF-1. Biscuit, insulin, sausages, IGF-1. Insulin, IGF-1. Pizza crust, insulin, cheese, IGF-1. White pasta, insulin, cheese, IGF-1. White spaghetti, insulin, meatballs, IGF-1. White rice, insulin, chicken, IGF-1. Naan or white rice, insulin, paneer or chicken, IGF-1. Tres leches cake, white flour and sugar, insulin, eggs and milk, IGF-1. Milk and sugar, milk and sugar. Processed meat is a group 1 carcinogen. Bacon, sausages, salami, corned beef, beef jerky, canned meat. World Health Organization has classified processed meat as a group 1 carcinogen, same as tobacco, asbestos, and alcohol. Yes, alcohol is a group 1 carcinogen. Red meat is a group 2A carcinogen. When we consume dairy, IGF-1 spikes even higher. Why? Because milk is for baby cow. It quadruples its growth in first few weeks of life. It will create a pro-growth environment in human body too. Third group is plant-based whole foods. Plant products that should be consumed in its most natural form without processing or minimum processing. These are our 3 food groups: processed foods, animal products, and plant-based whole foods. I have few questions for you. Which food group does alcohol belong in? Processed food. Which food group does oil belong in? Processed food. Which food group does pea protein powder or vegan protein powder belong in? Processed food. And how about artificial colors and flavors? Processed food. So back to our third group. A whole food plant-based diet consists of all types of vegetables, legumes, beans, peas, lentils, fruits, nuts and seeds, whole grains, herbs and spices. Eat all colors, all varieties from all food groups. The idea is to maximize the varieties of phytonutrients and fibers consumed. One more time, in its most natural form, without processing or minimum processing. This is how our food should look. I see abundance of phytonutrients and fibers. Health equation. If you get more micronutrients for the amount of calories you eat, health will improve. And reverse is also true. If you get less micronutrients for the amount of calories you consume, health will deteriorate. Calories from 1 pound of food. 1 pound of cabbage will give 120 calories. Orange, 210 calories. Cooked beans, 500. Cooked brown rice, 500. Whole wheat bread, 1100. Almonds, 2600. Oil, 4000. When we eat vegetables and fruits, we get lots of phytonutrients and fibers, and we can eat large bulk of food without getting tons of calories. That is why we should eat more vegetables and fruits. This is how our plate should look like. 50% of calories from vegetables, half raw, half cooked. 10 to 40% from beans, 10 to 40% from fruits, 10 to 40% from seeds and nuts. 20% from whole grains. 20% of calories from whole grains is adequate for large percentage of the population. No more than 10% from wild animal products, poultry, eggs, fish, dairy, and oil combined. Please don't eat cheese, sweets, processed foods, white rice, white flour, and factory farm animal products, especially red meat. Our diet is grain-based. It should be vegetable-based. Food groups that reduce cancer risk. Greens, all of them. Beans, all of them. Onion family. Onions, garlic, green onion, green garlic, chives, scallions, leeks, shallots, and others. Mushrooms, all varieties, berries, and seeds. These 4 fruit groups should be consumed raw, and beans and mushrooms should be consumed cooked. Acronym to remember this is GBAMS. These food groups inhibit angiogenesis. A micronutrient-rich diet causes weight loss that is permanent, promotes longevity, derails hunger and food cravings, increases immune function and disease resistance, has therapeutic effect to reverse diseases, protects against heart disease and dementia, fuels cellular repair mechanism, and protecting against cancer. If you eat plant-based whole food diet, you must take vitamin B12 supplements and vitamin D if you are not going out in the sun, EPA, DHA, and zinc if required. With standard American diet, it is also called SAD diet, average life expectancy in America is 79 years. But some people die in their 30s and 40s. If you eat micronutrient-rich diet, the median age is 98, and the graph is narrow. Nobody should die before the age of 85. And I want all of us to fall in this group. Do I get enough protein from plant-based whole foods. Recommended dietary allowance for protein is 0.8 gram per kilogram per day. So for women, on an average, 46 grams per day. For men, 56 grams per day. For 2000 calorie diet, if I decide to get all 2000 calories from one food item, broccoli, I will get 146 grams of protein. If I get all 2000 calories from lentils, I will get 157 grams of protein. Corn, oatmeal, carrots, blueberries, brown rice, potatoes. All whole food plant-based options have some protein. Other way to remember is beans and non-starchy vegetables have 15 to 40% of calories from protein. Seeds 12 to 20%, nuts 8 to 12%, grains 8 to 18%, fruits and starchy vegetables less than 10%. On an average, you get 10 to 15% of calories from protein, which amounts to 50 to 75 grams of protein per day from 2000 calorie diet. So what is 10% of 2000? 200. We know 1 gram of protein will give 4 calories. So for 200 calories, we will get 50 grams of protein, which is close to the daily requirement. If I get 15% of calories from protein, I will get 75 grams of protein, which exceeds the daily requirement. It is very easy to get 15% of calories from protein by eating more beans and vegetables. Do I get complete protein from plant-based whole foods? Complete protein has all essential amino acids. The body cannot synthesize essential amino acids. They have to be consumed from food. Do you remember the list of all essential amino acids? I don't remember it either. We don't remember it because we don't need to. Individual amino acid deficiency does not exist. We have never heard of histidine deficiency. Nitrogen is in the air. All amino acids are synthesized by plants, and only plants can synthesize amino acids. Yes, we do get all essential amino acids from plant-based whole foods. When amino acids are consumed from plants, body has to assimilate protein before it gets absorbed. And this is what happens to IGF-1. If you eat plant-based whole foods, IGF-1 will not spike and insulin will not spike. And that is what is required to slow down aging. Have you heard about good carbs and bad carbs? Yes. Have you heard about good fat and bad fat? Yes. How about good protein and bad protein? Probably not. Now you know plant protein is a desirable source of protein. Percentage of macronutrients from spinach and percentage of macronutrients from beef. We are talking about protein, carbohydrate, and fat. We are comparing 100 calories from spinach and 100 calories from beef. Spinach has same amount of protein, if not more, as red meat. Rest of the calories in red meat is saturated fat. Rest of the calories in spinach is healthy carbs and unsaturated fat. Half of that fat is omega-3 fatty acids. Animal protein is always paired with saturated fat, and plant protein is paired with phytonutrients, fibers, and plant sterols and stanols. We are comparing the nutrition value of two food groups. Plant products, in that we have equal parts of tomatoes, spinach, lima beans, peas, potatoes, that will give us 500 calories. Animal products, in that we have equal parts of beef, pork, chicken, whole milk, and that will give us 500 calories. Cholesterol, none in plant foods. Fat, significantly higher in animal foods. Protein, almost same. And my favorite, dietary fibers, none in animal products and good amount in plant products. I will get 31 grams of fibers from 500 calories. So for 2000 calorie, it will be 124 grams. If you look at the rest of the micronutrients, beta carotene, vitamin C, folate, vitamin E, iron, magnesium, and calcium, all of them are significantly high in plant products. Recommended dietary allowance for protein for children and athletes is little higher than the average RDA of 0.8 gram per kilogram per day. But they eat more calories for their body size too. So they will easily meet their protein requirement just by eating more food. They can mess it up if they eat white pastas, white bread, or candies. Also to keep in mind, oil, butter, and sugar have no protein. A small group of people eat fruits only. They may not meet their RDA for protein. They should supplement their diet with beans, vegetables, and seeds and nuts. Seniors, RDA is the same, 0.8 gram per kilogram per day, but it is difficult for them to break down and absorb amino acids. Some of them eat less calories. For example, those who are recovering from cancer, chemotherapy, and such. They should be conscious about their protein source. Just because I exercise or go to gym, it does not make me an athlete. My RDA for protein is still 0.8 gram per kilogram per day. Herbivores don't grab a protein shake on their way out of the gym. In standard American diet, we get 100 gram of protein in a day, and RDA for protein is 50 gram per day. In standard American diet, we get 15 grams of fibers in a day, and RDA is 30 grams, at least 30 grams. Our obsession is to shift from protein to fibers. Do I get enough calcium without dairy? Milk has a lot of calcium. That is why it is very easy for dairy industry to convince all of us to consume milk and milk products. Milk has calcium, but cows don't make calcium. They get it from what they eat, grass. We can eat greens too. 1 cup of broccoli will give 94 milligrams of calcium. Collards, 358 milligrams. Kale, mustard greens, Swiss chard, also in almonds, sesame seeds, chia seeds, tofu, fortified soy milk, oranges, beans, figs, and other whole food plant-based products. Approximately 30% of calcium is absorbed from milk and 50% of calcium is absorbed from greens. If I get 1000 milligram of calcium from milk, 30% will be absorbed. So approximately 300 milligram will be absorbed from the gastrointestinal system. Milk has sulfur-containing amino acids. That makes pH acidic. To neutralize the pH, calcium has to be released from bones. And approximately 350 milligram of calcium is excreted in urine. So net is negative 50. If I get 500 milligram of calcium from greens, approximately 50% will be absorbed. So 200 to 250 milligram will be absorbed from the gastrointestinal system. There is always some calcium loss in urine. So net is positive 100. Multiple studies have proven that hip fracture rate is highest in countries where dairy consumption is high. Hip fracture rate for women per 100,000. In Denmark and Sweden, where dairy consumption is high, hip fracture rate is high too, compared to, say, China. Healthy bones is not just calcium consumption. Weight bearing and resistance exercise, vitamin D, vitamin K, phytochemicals, trace minerals, example, calcium, magnesium, manganese, and others. Manganese is mainly in plants. Favorable dietary acid-alkali balance. Excessive amount of sodium, alcohol, coffee, and smoking will negatively affect bone health. If you did not understand anything I said, or if you cannot remember anything I said, just remember one thing. If you don't see fibers, don't eat. These are our three food groups: processed foods, animal products, and plant-based whole foods. Do you see fibers in processed foods? Most of them are gone during processing. Do you see fibers in animal products? Fibers give structure to plants, none in animal products. And plant-based whole foods, plenty. Processed food. During processing, fibers and phytonutrients are removed. We already discussed that processed carbs will spike insulin. It is easy to overeat on processed foods, and that can cause food addiction. Animal products. There are no fibers or phytonutrients. Phyto means plant, none in animal products. We already discussed that animal products will spike IGF-1. They are a source of saturated fat and cholesterol. By eating animal products, we support animal cruelty and participate in global warming. Whole food plant-based diet. There is an abundance of phytonutrients and fibers. There will be no insulin spike or IGF-1 spike. And that is what is required to slow down aging. Plant-based whole foods keep us satiated. I encourage you to overeat on non-starchy vegetables. Also important, moderate physical activity, adequate sleep, social connections, stress management, and avoidance of substance abuse. These are the rest of the pillars of lifestyle medicine. Each one of them is a lecture topic on its own. Plan for long life. You will be happy if you have teeth in your 90s. Brush twice and floss at least once a day. Sunglasses protect eyes by blocking ultraviolet rays. Loud noise can damage the middle ear. If you learn something new, like a new language or a musical instrument, if you keep working and eat healthy, your brain will stay young. Make sure your money will last as long as you live. I suggest you see these documentary films. And that's me, 1986 and 2020. I hope you have noticed my outfit. Thank you.